matter of fact, last night I have only two more potential clients in the construction industry.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, two more potentially in the Bay Area.
So you've brought 5 potential consulting clients in already.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's awesome. It sounds to me like you're well on your way to quitting your job and doing this for good. So,
Well, that's what I want to do. That's the goal.
Hey guys, Ricky here with DoD Contract Academy, and today's episode is a good one, and it's a little bit different. Today we have one of our students that's in the DoD Contract Academy, which is, if you go to our website, dodcontract.com, you can subscribe and join our membership, which gives you access to all of our training from soup to nuts, how to sell to the government. And it also gives you weekly coaching calls with me and some of the experts on our team. Well, Freeman joins us today, and he is taking this from a little bit of a different angle. We talk about small businesses selling to the government. Sometimes we talk about big companies. Sometimes we take it also from the sales executive, right? So we do have salespeople that listen to refine the way that they're selling to the government. Freeman wants to do some consulting and brokering and advising. So that's why he's in the academy. And he started a few weeks ago, and he's already got 5 clients. I mean, he is knocking it out of the park. So we talk a little bit on this episode about how he's helping his clients, giving him some tips and some advice. And it's really a great conversation. So, we do offer certification at the DoD Contract Academy just for this purpose, to help, people learn the government contracting, not just the strategies, but the process, so they can be smart and help other businesses. There just aren't enough people in this space that really understand what needs to be done to make the sale, and that's really where the academy is focused at, is how do you sell to the government? What is the process? How do you identify opportunities and build a pipeline and close those deals? So hope you enjoy this conversation with Freeman. Again, really proud of him. Already brought in 5 clients. Some of them aren't signed yet, but he's having conversations and he's going out there and he's doing it and he's making a difference. So we really like to see that. So stay tuned, listen up, because it is really a great episode.
Good. How are you?
can't complain. I'm in beautiful Ohio today.
Oh my goodness! Wow, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I'm in California, Sacramento.
Okay. So home base.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Okay, so what did you want to discuss today?
Well, basically how to engage with customers as far as being a salesperson, as you mentioned in your podcast before, to interact with customers, to bring them business. And basically I have a couple of individuals that want to do business with the federal government and acting as a broker. That's what I was considering. Because
Okay.
I do have three people actually that are looking to do that.
Okay, great. And so this would be more, I know you were talking about like the certification program that we had. So this would be more pivoting from, you still need to understand the sales process because that's what you're helping them with, but it's also how do you interact and help those small businesses?
Yes, sir.
As a consultant, right?
Sure. Yeah, I do have a few. I have a electrician client and a gentleman that's already a contractor for the federal government and has contracts existingly. Basically, he needs support more or less. He's kind of all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and he needs probably to reorganize his company. I know he has problem with financing, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
but he wants to grow. He's just kind of essentially, I think he had a partner and they took advantage of him of some sort. It's unfortunate.
And so, Freeman, did you reach out to that business? Did they find you? So you're trying to help small businesses sell to the government as consultants. And so you have a client who is an electrician or owns an electrical company. Is that correct?
That's correct. Electrician, yes.
And so they're interested in government sales and looking to you for help.
Yes, sir.
And so up to this point, have you thought about what you're going to specialize in and what your approach is? How are you going to walk them from where they are now, which is probably just starting, to being on a contract with the government? So there's a lot of different things that can happen there, and really picking a specialization for you, I think, is going to be beneficial.
Sure, sure. Well, when I spoke with them, basically one of them, a contractor, would like to be involved in facilities maintenance for him. He's a general contractor, painting, some electrical, construction part of it, facet of it. I know that facilities maintenance is large, encompasses quite a bit.
Okay.
And they've have 30 plus years in the construction industry and wanting to grow. They're just kind of unaware of how their government works. Yeah.
And that's a good place for a business to be at for selling to the government, because that means they already have a stream of revenue.
Yes, sir.
And they're probably resourced where they don't have to bring in a contract in the next 2 months to do what they're doing. So first thing I could advise you on is just be completely honest with anyone you're working with. Government contracting is the long game. I always start with, you got to plan on 12 to 18 months of consistent effort before bringing a contract in. You could bring a contract in before that, but you just want them to understand that that is one of the challenges of government contracting is you have to take consistent action over time. But for a company like that, they're probably set up to be able to do that. So that's a good thing. Now, things that you need to think about also in this process is you need to get paid, right?
Yeah.
What you're doing isn't government contracting, right? What you're doing is B2B sales, and that's quite a bit different. There are a lot of models that consultants take when they're working with companies. Some consultants charge by the hour.
Okay.
Some consultants charge by project, and that's typically how I work with my clients.
Okay.
Others will offer project fee, maybe, or retainer fee, like a monthly retainer. So
Okay.
That's a great way for a consultant to work, because now that's recurring revenue for you.
Okay.
And for any business that's starting to sell to the government, they're going to need they're going to need a lot of recurring action, right? So, and if you have that expertise, that's something that you could offer them. So you might offer to help find opportunities for them each month. You might offer to help them through the registration process for the government, and brokering deals. There's a lot of different things that can go into that. But first is I would try to hone in on a revenue model for yourself.
Okay.
One thing I would avoid is offering your services based on a commission only structure. A lot of companies will try to talk you into that.
I see.
There is special language in the federal acquisitions regulations do specifically talk about paying commissions.
Okay.
The way I understand is that it used to be illegal to pay any commission to somebody who said that they could bring, yes, much different than regular sales, right? And the reason for that is, the reason government contracting is so regulated is they're trying to prevent any unfair action and they're trying to prevent that from the government side as well as the contractor side. Okay. So one of the things that they don't want is, and you hear about, usually when you hear about it, you hear about like general officers getting in trouble because, they basically set up a big contract that a defense contractor would win, and then they go to work for that defense contractor, right? So, whether there's certainly been credible problems in this area, but the commissions, they were illegal because of that. And then finally someone, I don't know when it was, 60s, 70s, someone got to the federal government. They're like, look, salespeople work on commission, so we can't just make it illegal. So now there is language. So for instance, you could get paid a salary by a company and you could get paid a commission as well. That's perfectly legal. Okay. There's some other wording in there that you're going to want to check. But if you're going to take a commission, I would just check with a lawyer on if you're doing anything illegal. The way that you can keep yourself safe is make sure you're getting paid by them to do a variety of things. And you can add a commission, like, hey, for contracts I bring you, you can add a commission on there, and whatever you think is a fair percentage. But if that's the only revenue you're going to bring in, one is you could be in violation of the FAR, and I'm not a lawyer, so you want to check that. And the other thing is you're only going to get paid every 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get paid very often, right? So those contracts are hard to bring in and they take a long time. So, and the skill set that you're bringing is it's a rare skill set. Most people don't know how to close government contracts. And because of that, Of all the career fields out there, it's probably one of the highest paid career fields for salespeople. When you think about pharmaceutical sales or technology, software sales, I mean, this is right up there. So usually people are going to get paid a nice salary, somewhere between 150, 250 grand plus a commission, and the commission varies depending on what you're selling. So that's just something to think about. So what are you helping them with? How are they going to pay you? Right. And really, those are just the first two. I've experimented with a lot of models. So, if you have questions about that, I could certainly walk you through it. One question I would immediately have for the company is, are they registered in SAM.gov to sell to the government yet?
No, not yet. One gentleman is, yes, but the other ones aren't. Electrician is not. The other gentleman is already registered, yes.
Okay. So that's good. So you got to walk them through that. This is how you register to sell to the government. The other thing is I like to bring them an idea of how much they can make. Okay. And that's something that you can do for free. You can use tools like usaspending.gov and go in and take a look at electrical work or construction. You can look at house painting. There's NAICS codes for all of that. So what you could do is say, hey, look, in the past 3 years, the government has spent X number of dollars on painting services, right? And you can look at the different organizations that are buying it. And in California, I would imagine the Army Corps of Engineers, without even looking at it, I've just done this a lot. I would imagine the Army Corps of Engineers is going to be a big purchaser of things like that. And Navy Facilities Command is probably another organization, that does a lot of that buying, because they're responsible for like maintaining buildings and ships and that type of thing. So, whenever we are talking about something that's, manual labor, building upkeep, things of that nature, we're typically targeting organizations. In the Air Force, it's civil engineering.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
So I've said a few things so far. What specifically do you want to go over?
Well, essentially the pay, of course, and then essentially to actually capture the work for the client, which is most important.
Yeah.
Because without them, of course, you wouldn't have the business if you're selling products to the government. And then them being registered for the electrician, he's not registered. That was something probably out of the system because I'm registered, of course. But those things there, because one question they're going to ask me basically is, well, if I'm not registered, or if you help me registered, I can do this myself potentially. That's probably one question.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I guess no one's ever said that to me, but I'm coming at it from a different angle than you are, right?
Okay.
Just because I came from the government, that's my unfair advantage, I guess you could say, because I spent a long time doing that. However, this is what I see. Yes, sure, you can do it yourself, but you're gonna have to learn how to do it, right? This would be my response to them. You're gonna have to learn how to do it, and that takes time. Do you have the time to do that, or are you busy running your business? Most companies do not have the time to do this. They need to hire somebody else to do it for them. They're going to have to engage on certain things, right? So when a proposal goes in, they're going to have to review it, make sure everything's good, but they're not going to have hours to spend every day to find opportunities, to walk each opportunity through their pipeline, to set up meetings with the government. Those are the type of things that it's going to take. So what I'd recommend is set up a list. You're in our course right now, right? You're in DoD Contract Academy. Okay. And I would start listing the things that we're talking about in each of the modules, right? Okay. Registering your business, right? It's probably going to take you 3 weeks to register, not to fill out all the paperwork, but just to get the registration back.
Right.
Do they qualify for any certifications? Are they service disabled veteran? Are they, are they minority, woman owned? Could they qualify for 8A? So these are things you got to ask yourself as well. And I'd start jotting that down on a list. The pipeline process, we go over a lot in the academy for how you actually build a pipeline. So I would start taking note of, okay, first setting up searches, right? Mm-hmm. You could talk a little bit about, well, hey, Mr. Electrician, I understand that, maybe you could do this by yourself, right? You can learn to do this. You're sure you're smart. Do you have the time, right? One of the things you need to know is that if you go to sam.gov and see an opportunity come out for electrical services and say the proposal's due in 2 weeks, that most likely you're already behind the power curve because if a source of sought came out or a request for information came out 3 months ago, that means you probably have 5 companies, 10 companies that are already, have met with the office, that are, have influenced how this is going to be purchased. Most of the time, those relationships are really important. So what you're messaging to them is, we want to find opportunities where the government can use your service, but before a solicitation comes out. That's how we build the relationship. We can influence them to want to hire you, and you're going to be much more likely to win before that solicitation comes out. And that's how you do that. So that's what you're walking them through. So if they're relying on you for your expertise of how it's actually the process is done, they're relying on you to figure out, how do you set up a meeting with someone in the government? How do you, because if relationships are important, you can't just go knocking on doors like you do if you're a real estate agent, right? Like, you probably can't even get onto the base, right?
No, you cannot.
So yeah, a lot of those are the type of things that I would focus on. So I would just be listing out all of the steps, and you can be prepared to go over that with them. But you don't want to, there's a fine balance too, because you can easily overwhelm somebody by saying, hey, here, look at the 100 steps, right? I mean, there are steps that you have to do in regular selling as well. You have to balance that with what's important is, if you win government contracts, especially kind of longer term, bigger government contracts, those can really, first of all, increase the value of your business, help grow your business, and provide you just a comfort that funding is going to be coming in, even if the economy is all over the place, right? So you might lose your commercial clients, but if you have a 3-year contract with the government, that's there to stay, provided you're doing your job, right? So that's what I'm always trying to balance with people is, this is a new revenue line, and what are the benefits of that?
Exactly. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And as I'm going through your academy, I'm learning quite a bit about if I procure contracts for myself as well too. So
yeah,
it's helping me, and I think that's really important. I'm working on my capability statement now, trying to get that dialed in, so I can have that. I've got a response from the SBA about that. So
is that the email that you just sent me? Because I know I saw. Okay, so and this is probably good for anyone listening, that once you register to sell to the government, so you registered to sell to the government, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Once you register to sell to the government, I'm not really sure how people get this list, but your email is becoming public knowledge that's associated with your registration.
Okay.
So you received an email on here. You received an email from not sam.gov, and it's not the SBA.
I didn't think so.
If you go back and look at that, what that is a marketing email. And it's really, I hate it when I see this. Hopefully people don't think that I'm doing this, because my thing's DoD Contract Academy, but and I get a lot of emails from clients like, hey, something's missing in SAM or some. So basically people have companies where this one has the word SAM in it, but it's a .com. So if it's a .com, it's commercial. So you've got a .com and email address here, and it's basically telling you that you have a few things that are missing, right? And one of those things is your capability statement. Then you have, hey, contact us at this phone number, blah, 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 right? And you're not, and they have a bunch of, codes on here, like you could be excluded from winning awards, all the bad things that could happen to you. I could bet that this is a company that is selling you on writing your capability statement for you or doing something for you. And they make it look like they're the government, and that company is not the government. So you do need a capability statement.
Yes. I'm working on it.
But I think you can do it yourself. Again, just know you're going to get a lot of emails from companies like that. That's not the government. If you get something from sam.gov, any .gov email address, now start paying attention, because especially right after you register, you're going to get messages about your cage code, your UEI number. Those are important, and you have to be able to kind of sort through the noise to get to what's real.
Gotcha. Yeah, I looked at it after that and said, this is not the government. That's where I looked at it. I said, no.
Nope, that's just somebody selling something.
Yeah, they're always trying to sell something all the it's constant.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
But I appreciate everything I've been learning thus far.
Good.
Been so busy, but everything that you provide, I mean, with the USA spending and then the other company that you use that you pay for, that helps you with that as well. Aside from the USA spending, I forget what it was called. I wrote it down.
Tribe.
Yes, Tribe, yes. And that's very informative because it gives you information in the past and prior
Yeah.
past. And that's very impressive.
GovTribe's really good. One other thing, when you get to the point with your clients, when you're writing proposals, you may want to look into use Rogue.
Yes.
And that's really helpful
Oh my
for.
God. I saw the video on that. That is powerful.
Yes, and it's just getting better. They're doing a really good job over there. I use it a lot, and maybe I'll put a link in here for anyone listening to this on the podcast. You can go over and try it out. Use rogue.com and get some of the offers associated with hearing about it on the website. But yeah, no, it's great. It's an AI tool that helps you write proposals, government proposals, and RFI responses, and it's really powerful. So no, I think that will help as well. So.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
I'm really enthused about it. I'm really enthused. I just want to make sure I understand the bidding process appropriately, so you can bid and not make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to make is mistakes, because as you work with a client, I mean, it's with the government. You just don't want to make mistakes, period, regardless of what.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's in each solicitation is a little bit different. One of the reasons that setting up meetings ahead of time and responding to things like the sources sought and the request for information, developing that relationship, that's going to help you with that proposal process, that bidding process, because you're going to have a little bit more information than everybody else because you helped them with the solicitation. In some cases, even though you respond ahead of time, you might not have that kind of insight. And in those cases, you want to be very, very careful about ensuring your proposal matches the criteria that they're asking for. So they may ask for a specific page count. They might even tell you exactly what font to write it in,
Yes.
what sections. And in that case, you're going to want to put together a compliance matrix just to ensure that you're hitting, which is basically a spreadsheet. Like, hey, these are all the points that they want you to hit. Did I hit all of them? Check, 1 through however many. Use Rogue actually will help you with that as well, because they're going to, you can just upload the RFP at this point and it's going to spit out a proposal, I don't know, outline essentially, that's kind of pre-populated. You're still going to have to write it, right? But it's going to help you. It's going to give you what you need. If there's multiple documents, it'll generate those for you. If there's a costing section, you can say, hey, give me a costing section with these features, and it will show you it'll basically put into the proposal what a standard costing analysis looks like.
Wow, beautiful. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good. Well, yeah, no, that's awesome. So is there anything else that you wanted to cover today?
That's pretty much it. I know I'm looking at the IT sector for my own personal space.
Mhm.
As far as cybersecurity. I think that's one area that you place a lot of emphasis in as far as contracting with the government. And I think your experience in the IT services space.
Yep.
So I do have a IT services company that's willing to work with me to help with bidding and proposals to set up a MSP provider. So that's something I'm working on as well too. And then of course the roadmap, develop that. So working hard at it. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Not easy.
No, I hear you. It's putting a roadmap together for a company. That's why they hire full-time people. It's not something that happens overnight, but starting with who buys what they sell, how they're buying what they sell, look at the contract vehicles. You can use GovTribe to do a lot of that work. And then slowly building that pipeline out. You can use whatever tool you want to help find, but I would start with the request for information, sources sought that makes sense for them, and start building that out. And then you can slowly add things like conferences that they can go to, and, meetings with small business office that's associated with who they're selling to. It's just going to help. It's going to help build that momentum over time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. I enjoy it. I mean, it's just, it's new for me. I'm new in this field. Prior to that, I worked in the financial services industry with GE Financial and RBC Mortgage Corporation.
Okay.
So I was in this for a while.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's, what's impressive is you've already got 3 clients already, right? So
Yeah.
no, that's, I think there's a need out there. Small businesses realize that there's something out there with their tax dollars for them, a whole line of revenue they're not going after. And anyone that's tried it or looked at it briefly realizes it's a different process than they're used to. So, someone like yourself that's actually gone through some training can help them, and that's going to resonate. So I'm glad you got those 3 clients. Let me know if you need help with anything as far as, because I could go on about how I charge and how, what resonates with clients, what, initial projects that I do, how I get on retainer, so those are some models that I gave you at the top of this that I think could be very profitable for you. And really just a mix of having an initial project you can work with them, usually that they're comfortable with at a certain price point. Once they see the opportunity and they see some data to back up what you're saying, then they're usually going to be in that you understand what you're doing. Now, companies can be more comfortable paying you monthly, or you can, you set up a 6-month contract, year-long contract, but that's going to give you that funding to keep you going over time.
But I do, unfortunately, work. Right now I have to.
Yep.
But until things change. So that's the objective.
Okay, good stuff. All right, man. Well, hey, let me know if you have any questions going through the courses. We'll answer those, and keep chugging away at it. And hopefully you bring in some more clients here and get some more work, and you can quit your job and consult full time.
That's the intent.
Great.
As a matter of fact, last night I have probably 2 more potential clients in the construction industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 more potentially in the Bay Area.
So you brought 5 potential consulting clients in already.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's awesome. It sounds to me like you're well on your way to quitting your job and doing this for good. So
well, that's what I want to do. That's the goal.
That's great. I love it. I think it's a great way to help other businesses and make some money for yourself as well. And you're helping the country too. So when you bring good businesses in, so just make sure you bring good businesses in versus any business.
Right.
So was this helpful for you today, this phone call?
Extremely helpful, because it gives me more insight to how to do it properly. I think that's the biggest key, to do everything properly. And then of course having a mentor that's here for me as well. If I make mistakes, try not to make mistakes. But yes, absolutely, very helpful.
Look, your company can't afford to lose $2.3 million a year in revenue. That's the average that small businesses make selling to the government. And in this economy, when things are fluctuating, you want to have that stable income. So my clients through DoD Contract Academy are able to take our process and win government contracts without wasting time and money. Our system's focused, easy to manage, and customized for your business. With the Academy, you're not alone. We have weekly coaching where we can get our eyes on your business. We can answer your questions. So you get the framework and you get to speak with us each week to make sure that you are successful. Now, I believe that this is the best platform that exists in the world for teaching small businesses how to sell to the government. I haven't seen anything like it. And the advice and guidance that we can provide to you and work with you to help you be successful, it's just simply unmatched. And at the price point that DoD Contract Academy is at, I think that it's at least worth giving it a shot, trying it out for a month. All you got to do to get started is join DoD Contract Academy. Go to dodcontract.com to do that. Watch our short, easy to follow training modules, and then put your system in place for winning government contracts. And you're going to work with our team to do that. So hopefully we'll see you